So in this video we'll be seeing more into advanced e-commerce or enhanced e-commerce. Previously we saw standard e-commerce. Now in standard e-commerce we saw that we only could see values such as product details, right? We had transaction ID, transaction price, all that. But in enhanced e-commerce you can find out other stuff as well, like uh, if someone added your product to cart, or if someone removed your product from the cart, or if someone has viewed that product, or if they have clicked that product, or if they have seen a promotion related to that product. So all this, it comes under enhanced e-commerce. And we know that while we were looking into standard e-commerce, we had to send the event as a transaction. Like, we had to specify the event as a transaction event while sending it to Google Analytics. Whereas in enhanced e-commerce, you either specify it to page view or as an event itself. But since we are now looking into Google Analytics 4, which is the newest version, we know that in this event based model, everything is an event. So we don't need to specify whether it's a transaction or a page view or simply an event. It all comes under an event. So, and last time we had already seen that we had created some variables here. Yeah, these few variables: URL, order ID, price, product, SKU. We had created these, and they would retrieve the value from the URL itself, the parameters in the URL, and they would retrieve the values from there. As you can see, component type query key was SKU. Suppose if your the SKU equal test plus SKU, then the value would be test SKU. So this is what we had set up in the previous video. We had also seen a data layer push, which I'll show you here. We had created a data layer push for e-commerce tracking, and you can see we had our transaction ID, transaction total, transaction products. So for enhanced e-commerce, you can go to the support site of Google and check out the enhanced e-commerce and the various options you have, what all you can track using the what all you can track in Google Analytics. So under enhanced e-commerce, you can find all these activities. You can track product impressions, product clicks, product detail impressions, add or remove from cart, as I said previously. Then there's promotion impressions, promotion clicks, checkout, purchases, refunds. All of this you can track, and you can do this by getting some plugins such as WooCommerce or either from WordPress. But we are just going to be seeing how to do it using the data layer today, right? So you could choose any one of these. Let's say we take this measuring views of product details, right? Today we'll be working with this, so we'll just copy this whole thing and replace it with the values we want, right? So let's go to our Google Tag Manager. Firstly, we'll create a new tag, which will be a data layer push. So we have to select custom HTML, and we'll just paste the script that we had copied, right? Now this is an optional list property, so we don't need that, so I'll just remove it. Then name, as we know, we can take it from our variable that we had created. We can set it to URL product. Similarly, ID, we could set it to order ID, and price, we could set it to URL price. So these are just additional information. I mean, you could skip that. For now we only have these three variables available, so I'll remove these. And yeah, if we just break down this code, you can see firstly what it's doing is data layer push e-commerce null, so it's clearing the previous e-commerce object. Then we are actually pushing the data into. So you can see data layer dot push. This is where we are actually pushing the data into data layer. and then under e-commerce at details and products there's name, URL product ID, URL order ID, price, which is URL price, and trigger, when do we want it to fire? On a page view. Now let's select all page views, since we are only going to be working with one page. So for demonstration purposes, let's select all pages for now. Data layer push, e-commerce, product, view, save. So our e-commerce product view tag is ready, which will be which is basically a data layer push. We are pushing some values into the data layer. Then what we need to do is we need to create another tag which will give us an update, which fires on an update. So we have created the data layer push tag. Now let's actually create a GA4 event tag that will actually send data to analytics here, and then event name will set it as e-commerce update or e-commerce product. And then if you just go to more settings, and you just have to take send e-commerce data, and data source you have to set it to data layer. Now you could use custom objects as well, but for now, as I said earlier, we are going to be using data layer, right? Then the triggering, we can set it to the e-commerce update trigger, which we had created in the previous video of e-commerce, and this will be named GA4 product view. Save. So our data layer push is ready, and also the GA4 product view is ready. Now let's go to preview. And let's just enter some values here. Product to, let's say it's portfolio, and price, let's set it to 500, and order ID, and set it to 123. I'm just hard coding some values here. Yeah, continue. Then you can see a GA4 product view tag has fired, and first the e-commerce the e-commerce product view fired. This is where it pushed data into the data layer. This is where it fired, and we know that it does not actually enter the data at this point. It does it in the subsequent message event which happens after it. So you can see, for now we can only see the values from the previous video that we had set up. Transaction ID, we are not actually getting the product name, product ID, and no, product name, price, and order ID, which we had just set up. So if you just go here, you can see even that data is being added: e-commerce, products, name, ID, price, right? So again, this is just one of the many methods that you could do. You could track your e-commerce. You know, there's, as I said, there's many extensions out there, and there's many softwares such as WooCommerce and WordPress, which could help you in doing the same thing in a better way or a more efficient way. But yeah, this was just how to do it using data layer. Also, if you just want to quickly go here and go to inspect and go to console, you can see our e-commerce update. This is where it happened, and then e-commerce product. You can see so we can see that the data is actually being sent to Google Analytics. This was from the previous video where the transaction ID, total, and products. And this is for the current one which we just created, where it's pushing the name, ID, and price. So yeah, that's all for the video. Thank you.